I'm Kaela Crawford.
I'm Selina Ringel.
And this is Two Moms, One Pod.
Yep.
It is a limited podcast series leading up to our comedy special taping at the VIRGIL on September 28th. There's going to be a 7 p.m. and an 8:30 p.m. show. It's going to be for our comedy special that is eventually going to be called Two Moms, One Mic.
Yes. I'm super excited about
I'm so excited. And this episode is about how we are different and why we partnered up.
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, for one, we're different. Like, I'm wearing a Costco sweater right now, like a Kirkland brand sweater, and you would never. Right?
If you gave me one, I would wear it.
If I gave you one, you would, like, donate it. Like,
I actually feel really bad because that's true.
I know. Like, I know that.
Shit.
Like, I know that. Yeah.
I feel like so caught and awful.
Right? No. I would want you to donate it back to me, actually.
You just give it to me so that you can keep it.
Yeah. Like, that's I think that we're different, obviously, like, in fashion senses. Like, I wear free t-shirts and you would never. And, like, also, I'm like, how else are we different? I'm like, I'm really thinking about this. How else are we different?
How else are we different?
Clothing.
Let's see.
Also, just like our style of comedy. That is kind of why I wanted to partner with you, because I'm big in, like, act outs, and, like, we talk about the same stuff, but we come at it from, like, a different angle.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
sure.
think you, and you can say what you do, but, like, I feel like you come at it more from, like, a housewife, like, angle, like Real Housewives. Like, I could actually legit see you on the Real Housewives, and I feel like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Sure about that. I'm like, wait a minute, backhanded.
Well, no, and I'm like, where
insult or what is
where am I coming from it at? Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm like, where I don't even know where. I guess I'm poor.
No, I don't
like,
think that's where you're coming
it's
at
not,
it from.
Maybe not. No, I think it's more just like,
I feel like you actually have, like, a broader, like, I feel like the stuff you talk about is, like, works for most moms. And I feel like the stuff I talk about works for, like, maybe someone who's crazy who's also a mom.
Interesting.
Like, I think I'm almost, like, sometimes playing a character
Yeah.
of, like, someone who's, like, obsessed with her children and wants to keep all the, you know, babies like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I feel like you're actually coming from, like, a more genuine, like, hey, this is what it's really like to be a mom, but in a really funny way.
Thank you. I think I also cater toward, like, men in the sense of, like, well, no, I'm always, because I grew up with brothers. Yeah. And so I'm always like, would my brothers laugh at this?
Oh.
I was on a show with Pete
perspective.
Holmes, who's, like, the nicest human being on the planet.
I know.
And he's super tall. And when I got off stage.
he loved your set.
But when I got off stage, he was like, great job, Kaela. And I was like, thanks, Pete. Like, I could not have felt shorter and, like, more glowing in that moment. It was, like, a great moment. But I sat next to my brothers when he was on stage, and I've never seen them laugh so hard. Like, they were, like, gyrating. They were just like, they were laughing at his set, like, so big. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to write jokes that make them laugh that way.
Well, he was really funny, but you were also really funny that night, and he loved your set. And I actually remember how nervous you were. Like, I literally, I feel like, actually, this is one of the ways I think we're different. So we came out of that show, and you were like, oh my God, I just did it, blah, blah. And Pete Holmes was like, great job. And then you were like, oh! Right. And you just freaked out. Yeah. And I was like, Kaela, you need to go talk to him. And you were like, what are you talking about? Yeah. What? Like, why would I? And I was like, okay, let's take a deep breath. Let's just go start a conversation with him.
Yeah, no, I
just be like, hey.
I bought, like, a water that cost like $2, and I just gave a 10, and I was like, I just gave an $8 tip, which for me was like, holy shit, that's like I still think about it to this day, being like, I paid $10 for that water.
Because you were just
I was like trying to, like, talk to him, but instead I just, like, bought a water. And it was like a very expensive water, and I cherished it. I drank every last drop. But then I eventually talked to him because of you. Yeah. And you were so, like, effortlessly, like, good at talking to him. I then went home feeling so good from my set.
You did incredible.
And feeling great from the validation.
He mentioned your set in his set.
No, and it was amazing. But then I'd like to point out that then I called my mom. And moms always, like, kind of, like, ground you back to earth, because my mom was like, no, sweetie, I know I wasn't at the show, but your father was at the show, and your father was saying that Pete was talking about masturbation. And the thing is, masturbation is so relatable. It's so relatable when you talk about masturbation. And so Petey, my mom was calling him Petey. So Petey over here, like she like straight up like acted like she knew who he was. She was like, Petey was talking about masturbation. And everybody does it. It's very relatable. I don't do it. At that point, I like was traumatized. My mom was like, I don't masturbate, but everyone masturbates. And maybe you need to bring masturbation into your set a little bit more. Maybe so you need to talk about it a little bit more so you can be relatable like Peter.
Well, let me tell you. So I think that's really funny because my momager is not my mom. It's my husband.
Right.
Right. So he goes to all my shows, which I'm so grateful for. He's super supportive.
Yeah.
And he's also the only person in my life who is so honest. It like hurts my soul, you know? And so like he'll come to a show and he'll be like, great job. You were better yesterday. And I'm like, I'm going to go kill myself. He literally said this to me the other day. It was so interesting. So we were at that Eliza show, and he apparently spoke to her right after the show, like super in passing. He had gone to the car to get something. She was leaving the show, and he said something like, oh, my wife went before you. He was like, but you did such an amazing job. You killed. And she was like, oh, your wife was great. So he said that story to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I went like this because of who I am, right?
Yeah.
So I'm the opposite of you. So instead of going like this, I was like, I was great.
Right.
Like I like really like sunk into the greatness. Like I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was like just like listen. I was like listening to her voice, like saying I was great. And he literally did this. He was like, calm down. She wasn't gushing. I was like, excuse me. He was like, I just don't think you should be that excited.
That's so
I was
funny.
Like, but why don't you let me be excited?
like
this
just
is
like
big,
let me live
this
in
is
that.
like a big moment for me, and I would like to just swim in the glory of like one of my heroes saying I was great.
Totally.
He was like, look, maybe great wasn't the word. Okay, she said something kind. I was like, what are you doing? Are you taking away this moment from me? Like what? And I think what really happened, by the way, this happens to me a lot because I'm a very excitable person, is people get annoyed by how excited I am and they want to take it down a notch. So they're like, okay, but you're not that great. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I just want to be happy. I want to enjoy every moment. Why do you got to take it away?
I think that's why I partnered with you, because you are your own hype man.
I am my own hype man.
And I've never met someone who's more hyped about themselves. You know what I mean? Like you literally like you're so hyped, and I'm like, I need someone to hype me up. You know, like I feel like
I do hype you up.
You hype me up.
I think I do.
You hype me up, and I guess I just level. I don't level you out. I'm with you. Like
but I think you do.
I watch you be hyped.
But I think you do actually level me out, not in a negative way. But I think you're actually very thoughtful. Like you're very honest and thoughtful about like if something's working or not working, or how you think I can tweak it or stuff like that. Which I think is actually good for me. Yeah. Like I really appreciate that.
I'm always like, you've got this, because I know before you go on stage, sometimes you'll be like, oh my God, and this and that and this. I'm like, you've got it. Just have fun. Yeah. That's my biggest advice for myself right before I go on stage. So important. Because my heart sometimes will be like pounding out of my chest. Like I can like literally like feel like I see my heart pounding.
You seem so calm.
But it's
you
sometimes
seem so calm.
Sometimes it's like a not a nothing show, but it's like a show that's like there's no stakes, and my heart is like pounding out of my chest, and I'm like, I just want people to like me, you know, like, and you're so. And you're also just so excited. Yeah. And then I say to myself, just have fun. Yeah. Like I just keep saying, just have fun. This is not a big deal. Just have fun.
I say that to myself all the time. Yeah. Yeah. I actually feel like I do my best when I'm really hungover and tired.
Yeah. I'm not going to try that out.
Like if I literally feel like I want to die, like if I show up to a show and I'm like, fuck my life. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I just want to be sleeping.
That's when you
crash. And then I go up and I kill.
So come see Selina Ringel on September 28th. Super hungover. Exhausted. Not ready to be there.
Just like circles under my eyes.
But crushing it.
Just crushing. We're going to get 28th. Very drunk the night before. I feel like you're not going to do it with me.
No, I'm breastfeeding for the next 100 years.
You're going to be asleep at 8 p.m. the night before the show.
Yeah. My boobs are leaking right now. I'm definitely not drinking anything for the next 6 months. But I'm excited, and I loved this episode.
Me too. Oh, and the other thing.
Oh, there's another thing.
Oh, but we should probably wrap up.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was wrapping this up so beautifully, and you're like, oh, but another thing.